In trading, you don't need to catch every single move. You just need to catch the right ones. Welcome back to Your Nifty Guy. I hope all of you are doing well. Today's market action has given us some clear levels, but that doesn't mean we need to jump into every swing. The real edge comes from knowing when to stay patient and when to act. In this video, I'll walk you through the key zones I'm watching for tomorrow, the setups that actually matter, and how I'm planning my trades without overtrading. Stick around till the end for the complete breakdown, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your trading friends. And on that note, we'll start with the analysis. As usual, the video will be divided into two parts. First, we'll be discussing about what we had planned for yesterday versus what happened in the market. How did we play that out? What was going on in my mind while we were in the live market? And then we'll plan the trade plan for tomorrow. So yesterday, what we had planned was below this particular low, which was yesterday's low, we will be looking for a short entry, but with a pullback. Now, markets opened flattish. That was a good sign. Markets actually opened at the resistance that we had drawn and immediately came into a sell-off. Now, markets, although opening at the resistance that we already had on the charts, we were prepared that, okay, around these levels, we can expect some selling from the markets. But do we sell at the very, very start from the day, right? So this is a one-way fall. Of course not. When I also drew this particular resistance zone around here, I had drawn this that if we see, look at some negative price action around these levels, that is what we need to draw. So we cannot immediately sell at the resistance zone. Though we have this particular level pre-marked on our charts, does not mean that as soon as the market hits this level, we need to short the markets. Now, after the opening, the markets immediately went into some selling, gave us this good pullback. Now, our plan was to short the markets below this particular low. But then again, I'll tell you, I was got cautious around here. The reason being RSI. Now, today RSI was the star of the day. I'll tell you exactly how. On a 5 minutes time frame, RSI around here gave a very clear positive divergence. From yesterday's low, when we broke below yesterday's low, we created a new low. Try to see how RSI did not create a new low, right? So this was the first point where I got very, very cautious. Okay, even if the market is breaking this particular low, maybe I should, if I'm taking the trade, I should take it with extremely reduced quantities. Number one reason, we are already inside a support zone, right? So this is the weekly fib level which the markets had broken up above. This was the weekly fib resistance. Now it has turned into a support zone. If you look at the charts, it's clearly mentioned weekly fib resistance turned support. So we are at an important support level. And at a support level, if the market is showing us a positive divergence, should we take an entry into any short trade? Absolutely not. That was the reason why I refrained from taking any short entries around here. But if the entry did come in very, very late, uh, even if it would have come around after this particular swing, I would have entered into this trade. See, irrespective, see, price comes first, RSI divergence, until and unless it is, see, right now what we are looking at is a hindsight reflection, right? The markets are complete, the charts are closed, but then I'm talking about what goes on inside my head when I'm trading, looking at the charts, when all this price action is not formed, right? After this pullback, beautiful four candles pullback, if markets would have immediately broken this low, I would have taken a short trade because you never know when with the uh, creation of a new low, the RSI divergence could have vanished as well, right? So we always pay first close attention to the price. But then again, price did not break it immediately, went into some sideways zone, and then ultimately broke down below this. But then that because it did not immediately break down and was creating a sideways zone, I refrained from taking any short trades around here, and I was actually looking for a trade on the long side. So I hope the RSI divergence part around here is clear. Now, post that, markets formed a beautiful double bottom around here, right? That coupled with RSI divergence in a support area, a trade could have been taken around here. But then today being the expiry, I was being extra cautious and I wanted to take this particular trade only and only after a pullback. Now, this was a pullback which came in around here, which was a sell-off candle, not exactly a sell-off candle, but then a candle with a huge upper wick showing some rejections from this level, then followed by a inside bar. But then I was still not exactly very convinced to consider this as a very valid pullback, and that was the reason I still waited. This was the pullback which came in, and this was my entry, the first entry in the day, which was at 12:25. This 12:25 candle, I entered into longs around here with my SL just below the pullback red candle. Markets immediately gave a very good move. I exited in this particular candle. Now, the reason was today being expiry, I do not want to hold on to my trades for very long. Although this particular trade that I took was taken in the next week's expiry, right? I did not trade in the current uh, week's expiry. I took this trade in the next week's expiry, but then again, I did not want to risk anything again because today is an expiry and you can expect some volatility. And that was the reason I entered here, I exited here. Good trade. Now, this was the only trade that I took in the day. Now, the reason why I started my video with you don't need to trade everything you see. Sometimes the best trade is to hold your horses and you just need to catch the right moves. That was the reason I told markets moved from this to this. I captured this to this. But does this mean that I cannot trade or I'm not a good trader? Absolutely not. This means that I know what I want to do, and that is exactly what I need the markets to commit to me before I commit to the markets. You never know, markets could this could have been a liquidity sweep, and markets could have again gone down, breaking below this low. That was the reason I just waited for a little bit more confirmation. Still, if you wait for a lot of confirmations, a lot of hesitation, you miss the moves. So that was the reason why I was still also considering this particular candle as a halt candle, but I was not 100% convinced. So I waited for some more confirmation, which came in around here, and I captured this one move. And the quantities that I trade in, this is a good enough profit for me for the entire day. The simple move that I captured around here, this is a good, very good enough profit for me. So that is the reason why I said you do not need to chase every single move. So in throughout the day from 9:15 to 3:30, markets will move a lot. Markets will move a lot in both the directions. Does not mean that we need to jump and take every single trade that we look at, right? Over trading is number one reason for people actually losing money in the markets. Now, a second trade, a short trade could have been taken around this. Again, RSI was the star, once again signaling weakness. While the markets was creating new high, RSI was creating new lows, which was signaling a negative divergence. So that is the reason why RSI is my best friend. RSI has always been there on my charts, and that is the only indicator which is always and always there on my chart, being a silent protector as a silent force. And I pay a lot of close attention to the RSI now. The price action around the swings became very big, and that was the reason I could not find any good breakdown around here. See, the breakdown did come, if you consider this particular swing, the breakdown did come around this level, but then the SL was too big. The SL would have been above this particular swing high, and that was the reason I decided to call it a day. Today being an expiry, I took one good trade in the morning. Nothing was observant on the open interest portion wherein the expiry special move could have been traded, and that was the reason I decided to call it a day and not take any further trades. Um so that was it about the intraday trading part. And in a parallel world, the option selling trade, this particular week, I had initiated on last Wednesday. Right. So on last Wednesday, this was post the expiry next day, is where I had initiated this particular trade. Now, it was a very simple trade. We were roughly around 25,300. And for this particular trade, I had sold 25,500 call and 25,100 put, just 200 points because of the low volatility that we were in. I chose a very small range, so 200 points plus, 200 points minus is what I had sold. And it gave a very good decay. Both the call and the put went to zero. I captured the entire premium in the second account that I trade, wherein I'm experimenting with this strategy. I'm just discussing it in case if anybody is into option selling and would want to know more about it, you can get in touch with me. And so this is a pretty simple strategy, and it has some adjustments, but in this particular week, it needed no adjustments, right? The markets came very close to 25,500. The call option that I had shorted, the markets also came down very close to 25,100 call option that put option that I had shorted. But nonetheless, overall, the strategy went very, very well, and we closed in by capturing the entire premium of the that we had sold, right? Let me know in the comments how was the expiry for you guys today. For tomorrow, we don't need this. We don't need this. On a daily chart, if we look again, the markets again today's after yesterday's 2 days of confirmation of the reversal candle, today's candle, although the highs and low are lower than previous candle, the closing did not come below yesterday's low, and that is a good sign, of course, because we are at a support level as well. So we'll not be rushing into things for now. So around here, if we see on the 75 minutes time frame, the market structure is still bearish. So we will be keeping a very simple trade plan. Long trade only and only above this. I'll quickly above the up move that had come in. I will quickly check. Yes, of course. So this is the beauty of fib levels, as you can see. After this up move that came in, the retracement which came in took support from exactly zero point 0.5 to 0.618 zone, right? I'll also be marking this level on the chart tomorrow. This has already been tested, guys, so this is not a new level. But say, for example, one particular scenario I would particularly like to discuss around here. We open flat, right? We have already come down here, tested it about here. We give another touch at these levels, and then we move up. That will give us a very good trade around here, right? Below this, we will be planning a short trade, but then of course we are still in a uh, support area. So we'll be planning our trades very, very carefully. And needless to say, below this level, we are short. I'm not talking about this level for tomorrow. We might see it day after, day after, or we might not even see it if we get a reversal from around these levels. So that is something that we need to keep in mind. On a 15 minutes time frame, this looks like a good, if we do not breach this low and we are breaching this particular high, which is today's high, it is a very good double bottom and we can see some good levels on the upside, right? So this will be the simple and sweet trade plan for tomorrow. Do not overcomplicate things and do not chase every single move that the market shows you, right? Most of those moves are only to trap the retailers. So be aware of that, right? So that wraps up today's analysis. Remember, you don't have to be in every move to be profitable. Focus on the right levels, wait for the setups that align with your plan, and the trades will take care of themselves. If you found value in this breakdown, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share it with your trading friends. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, trade safe and stay disciplined. That's it from me for today. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching.